Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel, and I know we haven't had anything done in the last 2 weeks, but today is the day I play catch up. And what we're going to get into today is this quarter here. We're going to finally finish it off with this panel right here. I'll show you it. I'm not sure whether I've picked it up before and showed you all this particular panel, but if I haven't, here it is. This is going to be a panel that I have cut out. I drilled out all the welds, and we're going to use it for a couple of cuts. The one here, obviously, which is for this rear quarter. Then this one here, which is it's actually running along here, I think. I don't know whether you can see that in the shot right now, maybe barely. But as well as that, this section, which that section there is going to be quite interesting to do, because it's a tricky one. But we won't worry about that right now. So with all that in mind, we're going to complete this side of the quarter in this episode, and that's going to be us done. And then on the next episode, we're going to get onto these 4 patches here and get them out of the way. And in between that, without filming, I'm going to complete this rear quarter on this side, basically replicating everything that I've done on this side, but on that side. But I'm not going to film it. I'm just going to maybe take a few photos, throw it in the same video that is when I'm doing these patches here. And depending on actually how many I'm going to get done in the one episode, we'll try and get through them. But yeah, I'll probably need a good day to do them. They're not too bad. They should be kind of handy enough compared to the other patches I've done so far. They should be fairly handy. But yeah, we'll worry about that when it comes to it. So without any further ado, or any thinking or any rambling on, let's just continue and get this quarter out of the way. So, we have an issue. This might as well be an episode 7.5, because in this episode we've got to rework some steel, because in this panel that we put on last time, when I try and measure up my new panel, it doesn't seem to fit. There's a gap between the inner panel that this panel welds to, this corner piece, welds to about an inch. It's miles out. And that's because, if you can remember me saying that, this is going to be a little bit wider, this arch, because of where I got the arch and all that kind of crack. So it isn't that fact, because it's not a problem that it's that bit wider. What's a problem is it's not shaped in this area. You can see the old one, right? This is off the other side, so it's an opposite, just in case it confuses anyone as much as it's confused me. But anyway, if you can see this, it kind of comes down like so. There's a nice angle to it. With the one that I put on, obviously there was no angle in it, and I tried to do a bit of pressing. You can see the way I shaped it and all that, and it looked great when I was doing it, and even when I put it on I was like, yeah. But then when I put the panel up to it, I went, oh, that's miles off. So we gotta right some wrongs in this episode. I was hoping this episode would probably be a bit more, but as well as not having much out or anything out over the last couple of weeks, I said, you know what, if this is all I get done, then nice one, because this is going to be a bit of a finicky one. So what the idea is, the reason I took the wheel off is because of better access to the whole panel here, because I'm going to be tapping it and banging it and trying to get a bit of straightening going on here, because that panel, that piece that I squeezed, that I bet in, basically try and get some shape into the last time that you see me hammering around and making it all nice and round, that has to be flattened back out to the way it was, and we have to slice the panel down. I don't know where you can see that black line, faint black line. That's a rough area for where the panel is going to be cut, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to slice out this section roughly, and we're going to piece by piece, just after it's all flattened and straightened out, cut it down and just try and get that angle in. See if we can get this nice bend that we have in this panel here. And if I have to weld a little patch underneath here, that's fine. We're not going to worry about that too much. Yeah, so it's just going to be interesting. This episode alone is going to be just me trying to, if I can get this panel on by the end of this episode, I'll be happy. That's it. Then the other side then is going to test me a little bit, and there might actually be another decent gap between me putting out another video after this one, depending on how we get on, because before I go any further, I want the other side done. And as I've said in previous videos, I don't want to film the other side because I'm already getting it done. I'll show you the finished result. I might take a few pictures and I'll show you in the next video when I'm doing another part of the van what I did. So yeah, let's just jump into it and see what we can do. Now, as you can see, we got a little bit straighter. She's fairly flat, right? So what the plan is here is to, right, what way will I explain this? On the old panel, or the original panel, the perfect panel, this is flush, right? This panel is actually flush with it, right? Because you see, what I kind of did, whatever way I was thinking was, for some reason, the panel was a little bit longer, if you can see that. So the panel's flush here, and I made the panel, but because of that, as you can see here, it comes down that little bit more, if you can see that. Now, I need to make that flush, because that's the way the panel was. So we need to make that flush, and then we need to try and get this bend, right? If you can see it, I hope you can see it, but there's a little bit of a bend here. And the reason that is because obviously this panel, as it goes around this arch, which is here, as it goes on, goes around here, comes around here, and when it gets to the front, it just comes past where the inner panel is, and this arch acts, basically holds the outer panel. It acts as an inner panel, I suppose you could say. So I didn't take that into account, so we need to kind of, we're getting that bit, so we're trying to keep the ball rolling here. That's what's happening with this. So I need to chop this a little bit flat, and then look at it maybe for a couple of minutes, contemplate, look at it for a couple of more minutes, contemplate, then have a think about what I've actually do, and then hopefully get my head around it and do it. So let's jump onto it. You can see that area here. That needs to be, this needs to be flush with this. So for that to be flush, I actually now need to cut this back off, grind it flat, and put it here. So as you can probably see, it's probably gotten a little bit darker, as now it's a couple of days later since I filmed me putting this piece in, and now it's time to put this piece in. I didn't get a chance to do it the other day, so now we're going to catch up and hopefully have a video out ASAP to try and catch up with the work that hasn't been done in the last couple of weeks. So let's just jump into it. Right, so everyone, you've just seen it, I'd imagine, go from darkness now to light. That's because last night I was working on the van, and because this is chopped up into a few sections over a couple of days, every time I get a chance to do something, I just try and do a little bit. So this should be the last change that you see, that this panel will be done. So yeah, the inside of the panel I primered. I'm not sure if I showed that last night actually. Yeah, and I welded on the nuts and stuff on the inside. So all that is done, and then obviously I welded this on, as you can see. But what all we're gonna do now is we're gonna spot in between, put a few tacks in to get everything all perfectly flush. Then we're just gonna grind it down, and then we're just gonna get this can primer, and we're just gonna just over just to save it for now, and then obviously at a later date, like every other panel, including the back, when I done that, everything will be went over again and checked and filled, and whatever needs to be done will be done and prepared for its final paint. But for now, we just want to get rid of the rust. So let's complete this corner. It's starting to look pretty good. It's mad. I can't wait to just see it with a bit of primer on it and all these little dimples flat, so they're not really noticeable. It's going to be exciting. So let's just get this out of the way and see how it looks. And yeah, I'll talk to you when it's all done. So now what I'm gonna do is we're gonna grind it down, and it's probably gonna be a little bit more welding in between where I might have missed or whatnot. So yeah, let's grind it down, see how it looks, and then just continue on. There is one spot, I'm not gonna lie, I'm really not gonna lie, that you've seen me do last night that I thought I got 100% straight, and it's kind of irritating me a little bit now. This corner here, I was getting the steel in and out and trying to get it 100% right, and it's just the slightest bit out, and I only just noticed it. Like if it was all the way in and out. Sure, we'll grind it down and we'll see how it looks, and we'll go from there. And by the way, lads, I'd like to just know, I'm getting a bit better at welding, because yeah, you've seen me chasing holes and stuff like that I've made myself, which is mainly just from me being impatient when I'm spotting and kind of going from here to here to here to here, and then going straight back to here to there without letting it kill down. The steel is just so hot that it just burns through. But when you get it right and you're just, it's so satisfying, because there's a few here that, now they're not, they could be better I suppose, but they've got that how would you say, they just melt into the steel and almost go flush. That's exciting. So anyway, let's just grind this and go from there. Right, so decisions with this panel. So the idea now is it is pretty flat and flush. Now it's actually not so bad. It does need to be straightened a little bit more with a little bit more time into the panel getting it flush, and there will be filler needed and all that kind of crack. You don't really need to worry about this right now. And then also, again, here's another one. I've noticed that when you put primer on something, it really shows up where the bends are. So when I put primer over this panel, it's actually going to give me a better reference for the damage that is in the panel. So yeah, well, that's the logic I'm going to go with this one. So this is the end of this video. Hopefully I'll have another video out in the next week or two. Things are getting busy back with work, so since the coronavirus has tamed itself. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Wait, I almost forgot. We have to paint this thing. See, it looks probably in bits, but that's just the paint in behind it, or the old paint, because I went down to steel in certain parts. But yeah, you can kind of see the shape of the steel there. It actually kind of looks cool in the camera. But see that line that you're looking at about there, about here, that's where the welds have to go in. So that's the exciting crack we're going to get on to next. Well, when it's being prepared. Yeah, the lines all seem fairly good. We're all pretty sweet. This might need to be addressed. This little bit here just needs a little tap in. Shape it up. But other than that, we look good. So, that was the real end of the video. See you in the next one.